This on, friends. What do we do? How do they all look so good? Today's Thursday. It's Juneteenth. I clearly took off of work because who's working on Juneteenth, baby? Not I, said the cat. But I'll tell you what broke my slump. Okay? You know what broke my slump? This. These bad boys. Hello, welcome to another vlog. We are starting from a different angle this week. Just, changing up the angles, finding different areas to film in the house and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so last week's challenge was to use a spinner wheel and to let the spinner wheel kind of help me begin the process of reading down my library TBR. And I'm feeling like this has gone out of focus a little bit. So let's get this situated. Okay, hopefully I'm not super out of focus anymore. This week, we are finally going to enter the phase of the TBR takedown, which Robin's going to be so happy about. So what I was thinking is that the third week of every month, we would focus on reading down my physical TBR. I was going to do it as a separate challenge, but to be honest with y'all, that's just going to be too much for me, right? I already have the Newberry reading vlog going on, as well as the YA Rewind project going on, and those are going to be vlogs that I'm going to do outside of my weekly reading vlogs. So to add a third project every month, it just would be way too much. So the easiest way for me to do this was to go ahead and fold in the process of me reading all of my TBR books within the context of the weekly reading vlogs. So every third week, that's going to be the plan. We'll see how it goes. So far, this is the third week of June. I'm really enjoying doing the vlogs. I'm editing as I go, so I don't feel overwhelmed to get them up by 4:30 on Sundays. I'm getting on a more consistent schedule, and I think that this method that I'm doing is working out a lot better for me than it has in the past, which is good. So I start the vlogs on Sundays, usually do a final clip on Sunday mornings. If there's ever a time when I can't do that, I'll readjust as necessary, but so far so good. So I'm actually sitting in front of my young adult fantasy shelf because the theme for this week is we're going to be focusing primarily on fantasy books. Now the question is, how many unread books do you have, Ashley? Once again, there's only maybe 3 people now who know the exact number of unread books that I have, because I have scanned this entire library. If you did not know, I have 6 shelves that were my housewarming gift to myself, right? I didn't do a housewarming get together. I'm really big on energy, who I let into my house, and I'm very, very big on that because this is my sanctuary. This is my child sanctuary. So I did know that when I did finally buy a house, I wanted to get custom shelving. It is not cheap, but I've saved up for this opportunity for years and years and years and years and years. Can't afford to do it now, so these are gonna have to last me while I'm in this house. But it's 6 shelves. You can kind of see how long they are and how deep they are. They don't have a backing to them. They're behind, what you see in the back here, all in there, that's the actual wall. So they're open in the back, which is what my preference was. The people who did the shelves for me did an excellent job. They were very quick, efficient, and these shelves have been here for the past 3 years because I've lived in this house for almost 3 years now. I'm going to be so upset when I eventually do have to move because I'm sure that I feel like I've kind of grounded myself here, but in terms of, things change, life changes, whatever the case may be. But it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of books that are here. I am not a big book buyer. That's the interesting thing. I'm not the person that films a haul every month. I just recently was in a space financially where I decided to subscribe to 2 book boxes, and that kind of is primarily my book budget for the month. And if I go past that, everything that I typically get is secondhand. The issue here, my loves, is that I get sent a lot of stuff. And in the past year or so, I've been getting sent a lot of kids stuff. So I actually had to readjust and redo my shelving to accommodate all of the children's materials. These sections, really honestly, the young adult section, the adult section, which is primarily on this side now because of how I shifted things, I don't typically get a lot in this area, because of the fact that usually, especially with adult, I have a higher tendency to read it first before I buy it. A lot of that stuff is stuff that like I will have read and enjoyed and stuff like that. Now, this collection has been built over years. I mean, this collection, I've been building it now. What year is this? 2025? Oh, goodness gracious, y'all. I mean, it's had to be 15, 20 years worth of collecting here. I work for the library, so I support my library a lot. Any new releases that I'm talking about, stuff like that, primarily that stuff is coming from the library, whether that's e-audio, ebook, or physical copies. Like, I am big on using the library, but I've become so big on using the library that I have essentially neglected my collection, and it almost feels like this is just a stand-in for, like, if you walk into the house, like, oh, this is how I know you're a reader. Like, that's what it's felt like, and I don't like that. I'm not happy about that. So I did scan all my books, and I'm still not going to say the number because I just don't. It's not something that I want to share, right? I need to read it down quite a bit. I will say that the number is over 800, well over 800, but my collection is also very, very large. So I just need to get to reading at a point where I feel like, okay, I'm gonna share where I'm at, then we'll talk. But for right now, I need to definitely focus on reading down my physical TBR. Now, I have the data. Anything that comes to the house now, I am scanning, and then I will shelve those things, and so they're added to that catalog that I have of unread materials. So what we're gonna do is I think I primarily want to focus on young adult fantasy, right? I think I may stay away from, and this is not to say, let me rephrase this. This is not to say that I won't be reading other things throughout the week, right? So in every week that I'm doing these themes or these challenges that I'm giving myself to get through the week of reading, doesn't mean that I'm necessarily only reading those materials, right? But these are the things that I'm emphasizing within the framework of the vlog. If you've watched the previous 2 vlogs, then you already know this, and I'm making this an exceptionally long introduction. It's probably one of the longest ones I've done since I picked up weekly vlogging again, but I just want to give some context because this is a project within a weekly vlog, and I want to make sure that it makes sense in what I'm doing. So I know some people like big TBR, some people are not fans of it, some people feel like, all these unread books, it's symbolism of the consumerism issue that exists in the book community. All these things can be true at one time, but I am telling you that I do not, any book mail that I have unhauled, right, or have hauled, a lot of it comes from publishers. And ironically, before this is all said and done, I have 3 packages from publishers. One that is from me, because in order for me to read the rest of the series, I needed this one book because it was missing and I needed it. So, and I got it on, this is what I'm talking about, I got it on eBay. I do my book shopping on Thrift Books, on eBay, and on Pango. Or I go to library book sales, or I go to Second and Charles, or I go to thrift stores. That's how I do a lot of my book shopping, not gonna lie to you. So I have a lot of things to choose from, and to be honest with you, I still haven't even made up my mind of how I want to go about choosing what I'm going to read. I may allow myself just to mood read, right? Because the danger in me trying to get stuff off of this physical TBR is that if I create too much structure around it as a mood reader, it won't happen. So I have to be very careful about, it's almost like I am talking about myself because I know myself, but I have to be very careful on how I make the decision to choose these things. But I will show you a couple of things that I have on my mind. So honestly, I have this little corner. It's like a pocket. You can't see it right here. All the books just fell. And they all literally just came tumbling down. I will fix that in a second. I'm not going to stress about that. But I have a little pocket down there where these books were stacked up. And I've been literally eyeing this stack all day. So my energy has been gearing towards this one little pocket, and I'll show you the 6 books that were stacked up that I think I'm going to pull from first. I'm just going to do one book at a time, and then, you know, if my mood changes and I want to go somewhere else in the shelving units, I will. But for right now in that stack, we have Of Jade and Dragons. This was a Goodreads Choice Award nominee last year. I feel like this is a retelling of sorts, but I'm not sure if it is or if it truly isn't. I know the sequel to this does come out this year. It's by Amber Chen. This has some steampunk elements to it too that I'm interested. I have We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. I've heard great things about this. I have been explicitly told do not listen to this book on audiobook because it would ruin the experience for me. So I have to keep that in mind, that if I do choose We Hunt the Flame, that this is one that I need to read physically. We have Blood at the Root, which I do need to read. I love this paperback version of it. I have 2 coworkers who've been pushing me to finish this book and to be ready for the sequel to come out in July. We'll see how I feel about it. I've heard really good things about it, but we're like I said, we're going to see where we're going to go. I did end up getting, when I went to the Scholastic Educator Librarian book sale, I found this one for $3, which is This Wicked Fate, which is the sequel and the final book in the duology, which I gave, what is the first book in the series? Now I'm losing my mind here. And of course, the way Scholastic published this specific version of it, they don't have This Poisoned Heart. Okay. So I read This Poisoned Heart and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. We're going to see if I enjoy this one as much. I remember enough of This Poisoned Heart to go ahead and just dive into this one. I heard that this one is not as good as the first one, but I will make that decision on my own. I have The Poisons We Drink by Bethany Baptiste. I had a couple friends who DNF'd this one, but another friend who really enjoyed it, so we're gonna go with it. And cute character art there, so we'll see where I go. This was also, I believe, a Goodreads Choice Award nominee. And then the last thing I have is one that I just recently acquired that I needed to read because I love Lizelle's writing, and that is Blood Like Magic, which I'm excited for this one. So I don't know how I'm gonna choose what first one of these I should read. This on, friends. What do we do? They all look so good. Oh, decisions. Blood at the Root would be the first. Okay, we're gonna do that. All right, we're gonna start with Blood at the Root because so many people have asked me if I've read this book yet, and I haven't read it, and I need to read it, and I need to get it done. I need to read it. I feel like I'm super behind on this one, especially when we're talking about young adult fantasy. I need to read this, so we're gonna start with Blood at the Root. I have the audio for this one, so I probably will do an immersive read or go back and forth between the physical and the audio. So yeah, that's our first book. Goodness gracious, I didn't know how I was gonna do that. That was kind of hard. All right, let's go through this book mail really quick, and then I have another clip that I have to film for another vlog. They always give all these random things. Like, I don't want, thank you for your kindness, but I don't need all of that. What is this? Oh, they always give all this stuff. Like these, like, 40% off coupons and stuff like that. I don't know why they do this. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but... Oh, special savings on Factor and HelloFresh. I don't know, like, this is not the first time that I've ordered from someone on eBay and I've gotten those things, and I'm pretty sure this is a used library book, but I paid $4 for it. So I'm not mad at it. It has a sticker on it that I'm just gonna pull off. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I paid $4 for this. And it is Runaways Volume 2 by Brian K. Vaughan. I have Volume 1 and then I skip to Volume 3. And when I was doing my shelf stuff, I was like, I'm never going to finish this if I don't get Volume 2. And it's hard to find these. You have to buy these secondhand now. Because I think for the most part, they are out of print. I wasn't a fan of the TV series, but I remember reading Volume 1 of the series and really enjoying it. So that's why I got it. This next one is from, I think this is from Penguin Random House. No, this is from Simon & Schuster. I don't feel like I get anything from Penguin Random House anymore, like teen-wise. Okay, so this doesn't come out until October. So I ended up getting King of the Neuroverse by Idris Goodwin. This comes out October. This is a young adult book written in verse, and it is in Jasmine Warga blurbed it, which is great. I love her stuff. A much needed, powerful, and joyful celebration of neurodiversity, creativity, and self-expression. I like this, but it's written in verse, so this is going to be a really, really quick read. I'm probably going to hold off on reading that one a little bit closer to release date. Oh, this is Ray. This is Ray Tercero. Oh gosh, I always say his name wrong, but this is Rex Ogle. If y'all did, it's because I never know. I always get confused. Like, is Rex Ogle the pen name or the real name? But this is Rex Ogle's real name, if I'm not mistaken. But I've read some other things that I've read. His graphic novels are so good. He did, what is it? The sequel was Pizza Face. The first book was Four Eyes, which are middle grade graphic novels, and I really enjoyed those. But this is Dan in Green Gables. It's a modern reimagining of Anne of Green Gables. Ah, shout out to Penguin Random House for sending me this. I'm so excited for this. Oh gosh, I'm so excited for this. Okay, I did not know that one was coming at all. I knew about the Neuroverse one. This is from Macmillan. Let's see here. And just literally me making a video talking about I'm making this whole entire vlog about how I need to read down my TBR. This is exactly how my TBR does not get read down. Oh, okay. What's going on here? All right. They sent me a finished copy of Up in Smoke by Nick Brooks. I'm excited to add this to the collection. I have an arc of it. I didn't get to it because they sent me an arc and I didn't know. There's a lot. It's a lot to this, okay? This is what I'm talking about, the unsolicited stuff. But they sent me Up in Smoke by Nick Brooks, who I do enjoy. Promise Boys, I just talked about in a recommendation video. I heard that this one was just as good, and it is. Nick's writing is fantastic, and he writes in such an accessible way. I always move through his books relatively quickly, so I'm excited for this. This is a young adult thriller. slash mystery. And then they send me Arrow Storms. I don't know if I was expecting this one or not. This is supposed to be the next big romantasy in young adult. I always say, like, I have feelings about, like, the use of romantasy in young adult, but it's fine. But yeah, Arrow Storms is the next big thing. I don't know much about it. I do think that there's some type of, like, weather, is it weather related? Let's see. When Blaze came into the world, she almost drowned it. Yeah, so, she's born into fire-wielding families in the Empire, but her birth summoned not fire, but rain in a devastating storm that resulted in the deaths of thousands. So she spent her life as an outsider. Her and her twin brother selected to compete in choosing right the rituals or the trials that decide the future rulers of the Empire. People are going to be comparing this to Hunger Games, because God forbid any other book have any type of ritual or games outside of the Hunger Games. But yeah, this is going to be so funny because I'm pretty sure that Fairy Loot is doing a special edition of this. I'm pretty sure that the July book is fair. Like, I'm pretty sure it's Air Storms. So this will be fascinating. 9 times out of 10, if I like this book, I am not going to keep both copies, but thank you so much to Macmillan for sending me that. So that's it, friends. That's all I have for the introduction of this vlog. And y'all know me. I'll check in as soon as I have an update.
Told me that you wanted to crash our car for the overpass, the one over on Briley Avenue. Can't believe the words I said. How are we gonna pay for it? Instead of how could I replace you?
Good morning. It is early. It is Tuesday. I am so tired. I have a kid that's catching a summer cold, if you can't hear her in the background. Coughing, super congested. I did not sleep well last night at all. I don't know what that was. I just didn't sleep well last night, so I can tell you probably what it is. My period probably is going to start this week, and so hormones are way out of whack right now, which is fine, which also has led to me, if you didn't see yesterday, we have a treadmill at work, and so I have decided to walk on that for about 30 to 45 minutes every day, just because right now, with me getting up early and being tired when I get home, is going to be tough for this week, only because of my hormones being a little out of whack because of where I'm at in my cycle. So TMI, but this week is going to be a little rough. Reading update though, I did start Blood at the Root. That's what I was reading yesterday. So this is interesting. I don't even know like what my full thoughts are at the moment. This follows a main character who exhibits some magical abilities, and he ends up having to rescue a very close friend that he considers family. It puts him into some trouble, and so as a result, they are on the run until they run into this other person, and our main character Malik finds out that he has connections to magic in ways that he didn't expect, and he ends up going to this university, which essentially is an HBCU for magical kids. I do think that this book is unapologetically black. I have seen critiques of this book where people say that the dialogue in here is cringe because that's not how people speak. But as someone who's from the deep south, this is how a lot of black people talk. It is how I talk. I code switch a lot. I even code switch, I think, on here. So Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see the same thing. But personally, I am enjoying it. I do think it's fast paced. Like I said, I already got through Act 1. I'm in the middle of Act 2, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more read today. Now, because I'm reading that physically, yeah, you got to make sure your seam's in line. There you go. You got it. Now that I'm in the heat of that, I don't have an audiobook to listen to. I was listening to some adult thrillers. I finished one. I had to put another one back on hold because my hold relapsed. So I am going to listen to a middle grade fantasy, which I know in the beginning I was like, I wasn't really in the mood for middle grade. I think I'm going to keep it a young adult. This is what I'm saying as a mood reader. Like every time I say I'm going to do something, it does end up switching up just because that's just how things are. So I am debating between two things. I did a while ago in a video that was like a spinner wheel TBR video, I did pull Freddy and the Family Curse. Now, I could listen to this. This could be a quick read for me, but I don't know if this is what I'm feeling right now. What I am feeling right now, but there's kind of a disadvantage in this, is I want to continue the Warrior series, which is the first arc. Now, I have read Into the Wild, which is the first book in the series. However, it's been a while since I read it, and I almost want to go back through and reread it, like re-listen to it on audio, so that I can immediately jump into Fire and Ice. Now, these audiobooks aren't long. I think that I could at least start Into the Wild and possibly finish it today, but we're gonna see how that's gonna go. I think I'm leaning more towards Warriors than to Freddy and the Family Curse. I think that's gonna end up being my preference for the day. But other than that, we're about to go, and what I will do is at some point later I will provide y'all with another update. Long time no see. Don't mind, I've got extra, that's my child stuff right there on my bed, and my blanket is all the way at the bottom because my child was in my room this morning trying to get me up, and I did not want to get up. So today is Thursday, it's Juneteenth. I clearly took off of work because who's working on Juneteenth, baby? Not I, said the cat. Not working on Juneteenth. I have not really truly been seriously updating for this vlog. I think I did an update probably on Monday and Tuesday morning, and then I did not update yesterday. I went walking yesterday at work. I've been trying to get some physical movement in while I'm at work because it's just easier. It's more convenient for me to do it that way. It's less strenuous on my schedule if I try to get it in during my lunch break. I think maybe I talked about that a little bit because I was reading Blood at the Root while I was walking on the treadmill. Well, I decided that I was going to go outside yesterday with a coworker and do a walk, which was great. I did not, one, it's not the walk that was the problem. I didn't hydrate enough, one, and two, I didn't eat when we got back. And I know that for some people, like, that kind of works, but I know for my body, it does not work, and I know better, and I didn't do better, and I ended up experiencing like some pretty intense dehydration yesterday. I felt really nauseated. My head was a banger. It was horrible. Like, I had patron sprints last night, and I immediately, when I got home after I picked up baby, I was like, I am so sorry, y'all. We're gonna have to move this to Friday because I'm not gonna make it. I got her situated, ready for bed, and then like I crashed afterwards, and I did not want to get up this morning. It was not a great experience. 0 out of 10. I do not recommend. Do not do that. I know that I live in the South, and it is too hot for me to even contemplate doing something like that. I think what threw me off is that on Tuesday I ended up walking to another library, which wasn't as far. I think it was a little over a mile away, and I walked there, talked with a friend who works at that library, and then I walked back, and that wasn't bad. But at the same time, I felt like I hydrated better that day. It rained. I got caught in the rain. It was raining while I walked. It just wasn't as intense. It wasn't as bad. And unfortunately, the same thing could not be said for yesterday. So I kind of paid for it yesterday. I didn't really read. I did read yesterday. I listened to an audio yesterday, but I didn't read physically yesterday. It was not a great day. I say all this to say, I have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right? This vlog is going to go up on Sunday. And it's been a time because I'm also filming a spend a day with me for my patrons today. And then I'm also working on my Newberry reading vlog because I do want that vlog to go up next Tuesday. I was going to try to get my, YA Rewind book back in rotation for this month, but I'm like, I think I'm just gonna have to put it off to July because I just don't have the capacity this month. So today I primarily have been reading other materials. I haven't really read much for this specific video, and today I have an author event to go to where we're going to be hearing April Harrison and Brianna J. McDaniel speak. They did the picture book together, the one about Augusta Baker, which I absolutely loved. It was one of my favorite books of last year. Loved it down. I was able to have lunch with them today, and it was just a really, really nice thing. So, updates in general. I have not read any more Blood at the Root. I think what I'm going to do is, because I'm off and I don't have to pick up my kid for another couple of hours, I think what I'm going to do is read a little bit more of Blood at the Root. I'm in Act 2, I believe. I think I mentioned that last time, in Act 2. Yes, I am in Act 2. I am primarily reading this on my Kindle. This edition is just very, very nice. I love the sprayed edges on this. And I don't want to necessarily ruin this one, but I do have it. I have it checked out from Libby right now. I'm in a digital reading mood. I told people that I don't only mood read by genre and age, I also mood read by format. And I don't know if that is a thing for other people, but it is a thing for me. And it's interesting. It's an interesting experience. So I know that maybe it was Tuesday morning, I talked a little bit about possibly wanting to pick these books up as some of my other fantasy books that I'm personally reading from my collection. And I'm doing it. It's happening. I wasn't sure whether I was going to go with this one or the Freddy one, but I was like, I'm gonna go with these because I've been dying to get through this first arc of the Warrior series, and this felt like the perfect time and motivation for me to pick them up. So I'm saying I didn't really read, but I have been reading. I did end up finishing Warriors Into the Wild, which is the first book in the first arc of the story, the first arc of the series, which is The Prophecies Begin. This is a very extensive middle grade fantasy series. This is not if you jump into this, know that you are in for a long haul, because not only do we have all of these arcs, there are standalone editions that focus on one specific character, and so there's a lot. There's graphic novels, there's a lot going on in the series. But I did reread this. This follows a main character, a cat who is a kitty pet, as they call them. He's had human owners and he ends up deciding that he wants to join the Wildcats, and he joins Thunder Clan. And Thunder Clan is one of the many clans that you'll hear about in the series. I definitely recommend, in the front of these books, they have, and you can find these online as well, but in the front of the books they have a map of the area where the cats live, and then they also have I hope this is right. Yes, they do. I was about to say, I feel like what I found online was pretty much a screenshot of this. They have a character list, and you're going to need this because you get introduced to other clans like Shadow Clan, Wind Clan, River Clan, and then they talk about, I should wait till I get to that point because I think that element of it I didn't remember, and I thought it was really, really interesting. And then of course the main players in Thunder Clan. So we do have Firepaw, who is the main character that we are following in this, and he is an apprentice. He ends up becoming an apprentice with these specific cats that are in this clan, and he starts to notice some specific things that aren't right. I don't want to get too much into the details, but he is going through this apprentice thing where he is training under older cats. There is some conflict that specifically exists with Shadow Clan in comparison to, like, I shouldn't say in comparison. Shadow Clan has issues with all the other clans, and it has a lot to do with territory, who can hunt where, how are they supposed to feed their kits, and Firepaw happens to notice a lot of things that fly under the radar of other members of Thunder Clan. And then we have the appearance of another character, Yellowfang, who is a previous part of Shadow Clan. And I think Yellowfang is kind of the catalyst for a lot of situations unraveling. And so this is very much so a beginning introduction to the world. From what I saw across like a couple of Reddit threads, this originally was supposed to be a standalone, and by the time they got close to finishing this, they knew that they were going to have to write more. And now it's like exploded into this huge thing that is, I mean, it's a massive series, y'all. There are books in the Warrior series that are literally still releasing. So it's going to take me a while to get through the series, but I at least want to read what I already have on my shelf. So I did end up reading this. I thought it was very intriguing. There are feral cats, there's fighting, there's political intrigue, there's drawing of like boundaries, there's alliances, there's betrayals, I would just say, when you go into this, nobody is who you think they are. What I did like about this, what I found so intriguing that I didn't remember from the first time I read this, is when they start talking about their ancestors, like lions and leopards and tigers, and how a lot of the attributes that those big cats have, they have taken on. And I think that I think that kids learning the relationship between like what we typically would see as a house cat and these big cats, I love that connection was made, because they are connected. They are within the same family, you know what I'm saying? And so I thought, I don't know, that element, out of all the things that happened in this book, all this political intrigue and all this other stuff that happened, that was the thing that stood out to me, which I think is absolutely wild. So I did finish that, and I did start Warriors Fire and Ice. I literally cannot tell you much about this. It's so hard, and I'm gonna find that the more that I read the series, the more difficult it is going to be to talk about it, because when I tell you, it feels like we end one, like we're on the, I don't want to say we end one event, like we're on the cusp of an event. It literally picks up where we left off. So there is this big kind of standoff between members of two different clans that happens at the end of Into the Wild, and it picks up here. And the person that is the person that is the issue, the person that we shouldn't trust in this first book, we're still trying to figure out how to navigate that relationship in this book. And so now this is a step up, because we are a step up in terms of the aging of Firepaw, because now he's Fireheart and he's an official warrior of Thunder Clan. And so he's trying to do some investigative work of what has happened in the first book, and how there's one specific cat in Thunder Clan who is responsible for a lot of the chaos that has ensued. He has a very close relationship with the leader of Thunder Clan, who's Blue Star. I will say, in reading this series, the names in the front are going to be super helpful, because let me tell you something, it is hard to keep. I mean, Fireheart, Shadow Star, Yellowfang, like that. I mean, these names are not like, it's not, but I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to say it. It's not easy, but when you get into the story, then you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. But you have people like White Storm and Longtail and Willowpet and Sandpaw and Dustpaw and Frostfur and Halftail and Dappletail and Patchpelt and Nightpelt and Cinderfur. Like, they're not conventional names that I think our brains are used to, and so it makes it difficult. But I'm not far into this at all. I'm probably about 50 pages into this, and so far so good. I do at least want to finish this. You know, I like to set my goals here. I do want to finish Fire and Ice and at least Blood at the Root. I wanted to get to a 4th book. And the 4th book, ironically, that I may end up getting to is right here. And I mean, this is low-key cheating, but it's my channel, it's my video. I'm going to do what I want to do. I started this a while ago. This is, I know I don't have the dust jacket on it, but this is the Scorpion Queen by Mina Fears. This is a young adult fantasy, and I made it. Where's my bookmark? Let's see. Oh, I made it 152 pages into this, so about half of this book left. It's slow. I picked it up. I've read a lot of it, and then I just never went back to it. What I may do is an immersive read with this one and see if it'll help me kind of push through. If not, it may just end up being a DNF, and I may just have to unhaul it. But this is the Owl Crate exclusive edition of it. I was excited for this one. Not a huge fan of the design, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like Owl Crate has done a lot better with even like the end papers in this. I feel like, and I'm about to do an Owl Crate box unboxing, and I'm going to show you. They've done a lot better with the end papers, specific books. And I hate that as a Black author, like, this is what we got as end papers. I think the sprayed edges are okay. It's a map of the country that they're in, which is, it's fantasy, but I believe like it's Mali inspired, and it focuses on a main character who was accused by her sister of doing inappropriate things with a man out of wedlock that she wasn't supposed to do, and it wasn't true. Her sister lied on her, and so her parents sell her into servitude of the queen, and the queen unfortunately is trapped in this vicious cycle of watching her father kill her suitors because he doesn't really truly want her to get married, and so he sets these impossible tasks. If they can't complete the task, then he boils them alive, and so she wants the cycle to be broken, and so our main character is kind of there to help her break the cycle. And our main character also has a love interest that she's trying to actually, like, they were betrothed, but all that ended when that whole situation happened. Like, her betrothed's father looks at her pretty sideways. I think that I wanted a little bit more world building from this one, to be quite honest with you. I think that it is a slow read, but we're gonna try it and see where we get with it. And I think that if I get through those 4, I definitely will feel good about this video. If I can get through those 4, maybe if I'm good enough to make it happen, maybe get through one more Warriors book. But we're gonna do some book mail really quick, and then I have to go because I have to start thinking about my time. My time management has been trash. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, just got an interesting text message. All right, this came in the mail, which I don't think I was anticipating, to be honest. This is a box for Angeline Boulley's new book in the Firekeeper's Daughter series. I own the first 2. This is the 3rd one, which I think is absolutely beautiful. It is Sisters in the Winds, and they put it in this nice box. And this is the book. It doesn't feel like it's as thick as the previous 2. It's not. It's 366 pages. And it did come with some information, which, oh, this is cute. Private investigator card. This comes out September of this year. So that's an early arc. I was not expecting to get that this early. I think I knew that one was coming, but I wasn't expecting to get that early. Okay, and then let's do, I'm gonna clip this to my shirt because I can't do this with one hand, and I don't have a pair of scissors up here. This is absolutely beautiful. I knew what the book was. I feel like I'm not like everybody where I want to be surprised. At this point, I don't think a lot of people like to be surprised, because if it's a title that I think I'm not going to want, I skip. And I skipped. It's funny because I skipped. What did I skip? I skipped Fable for the End of the World. I skipped that edition because I liked the traditionally published one better than the Owl Crate exclusive. So this month's book is A Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim, which I own a couple of Elizabeth Lim's books. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like Owl Crate could have done better by the Scorpion Queen. Because look at these. Look at that. That's gorgeous. And then you saw the end papers that I just showed you. Look at these end papers. Look at these end papers right here. So it kind of low-key irritates me that that's what we got for the Scorpion Queen in terms of end papers, and everybody else has gotten these immaculate end papers. And then this is the naked hardcover. They don't have the title printed on there, which is interesting. But this is the back. I just think that's pretty. And then this is the reversible dust jacket. Or no, this is just art on the back, because you can't reverse it because there's nothing on there. But like, sometimes I feel like they be putting in work, and then other times I be like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? So this is a young adult fantasy. At some point I'm going to do a read it or unhaul it of special editions, because I have a feeling like, and I'm not subscribed to a lot of book boxes. Like I do Owl Crate YA and Fairy Loot YA, and that's because those are like, that's my age category, right? That's what I'm really, really interested in. I think I've talked about this before. Oh, there's an author's note in here, and then it's also signed. So this is gorgeous. So this follows a main character who has the ability to harness magic, where she's able, I think, to actually paint the future. And she's a con artist, and she does what she has to do because her father was lost at sea, and she has to find a way to support herself and her mother's. So that's what she does. I mean, we love a resourceful individual, and that's what she does. And then she ends up agreeing to a marriage contract with a dragon lord, and she's forced to live with him under the sea. I believe that's correct. Yeah. She's forced to join him in his desolate undersea palace and paint a fixture so treasonous it could upend both mortal and immortal reigns. Sounds like it's going to be a good time. But we'll see. We will see whether it is going to... Oh, we love a map. That map is pretty. Love this map. So, all right, y'all. That's it. I'm done talking. I am getting cotton mouth, and I need to get the ball rolling. I'm getting some stuff done. So I will check in with y'all later.
Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the roof all by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out to the morning light? 'Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups pretending that you like somebody else, like you got boys waiting in line to take you home. But tell the truth, you'll spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So why don't we stay out to the morning light? 'Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the roof all by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get. So what the hell? What the hell are you waiting for? What the hell? So what the hell? What are you waiting for now? What are you waiting for now? So what the hell? Are you hanging on the roof all by yourself? Always waiting.
Hey y'all, so my hair is still, the only thing about having locks and then going to the pool is that my hair holds a lot of moisture, and I don't like putting heat on it. I like my hair to air dry, but at this point what I may have to do is blow dry it, because I do not want to go to sleep with my hair wet. I'm not gonna wrap my hair up when it's damp, because it will get a mildew smell to it because it is wet, and I don't like that. So here we are. My battery is about to die, so I do want to make this clip pretty quick. I'm exhausted. I had all these plans for tonight, and I'm like, ain't none of those plans about to happen, because your girl, when I say I'm tired, I'm so tired. I'm ridiculously tired. However, I have been reading, so we're gonna do a quick reading update, and then I'm going to chill out for the next hour or so, and I may just call it early night, and then what I get read is what I get read, and some of this stuff may just have to roll over into the next week. So let's talk about The Beast first. I did decide, I know that in one of my previous clips I talked about reading the book by Mina Fears. I did not get the chance to pick that up, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and say that that's not gonna happen. And honestly, y'all, I'm thinking that I am just going to DNF that one. It's so hard, because I'm like, maybe if I try it, what I may do is I may put the audiobook on hold at the library. I may try to do an immersive read with it, and if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna unhaul it and do away with it, because when I said that and then I thought about it, I was like, I'm not even excited to pick up the book, reading 100 pages and then putting the book down and being like, I mean, either way, I don't really care. Like, that's really indicative of a book probably that doesn't need to be on your shelf. And it's wild, because this book was never supposed to, it was never a part of the original plan at all. It was not one that I had picked up off of that shelf at all. It just happened to be upstairs, and I was like, it's been sitting on my office desk for a minute, and I have not touched it. And I was like, the theme is fantasy, I could pick it up, but being real and being honest with myself, absolutely not. Like, I'm not excited to pick the book up, and I don't want to put myself into a slump, because I was feeling kind of slumpy this week. But I'll tell you what broke my slump. Okay? You know what broke my slump? These bad boys. These books. This was not supposed to be a thing, okay? This is why I wanted to make these videos mood reading, because unexpected things happen when I allow myself just to do what I do best, which is go off of vibrations. And when I woke up on that Tuesday and I was like, I'm gonna do another series while I make it through Blood at the Root, and I was like, I'm feeling the Warriors. I've been thinking about the Warriors a lot, and the Warriors has been thinking about me. So when I previously talked to y'all, I had only finished book 1, right? And I was part of the way through book 2. I have finished book 2. I have finished book 3. I have started book 4. This series is hell, okay? This series is one of the most intense series that I have ever read, right? I thought Bravelands was rough. No, Warriors is also rough, because tell me why someone's whole entire partner gets killed, like, in a very weird scene. I was shocked. I was very, very shocked about that. This third book, Forest of Secrets, this book is intense, okay? We are still following Firepaw, aka Fireheart, and in this third book, things pretty much come to a head. So it's so hard to talk about this series without spoiling a lot of it, because of the nature in which it's written. It feels very episodic. I feel like when I finish one book, I immediately need to pick up the next book, because it doesn't end with a satisfying conclusion, right? It leaves you on this cliffhanger, like, okay, well, holy crap, like, what's gonna happen next? And so this is why I've been literally devouring these books. And quite honestly, like, the plan tonight is to finish book 4 and at least tomorrow start book 5, because in the next week I want to be finished with this first arc of the series. I am low-key pissed at myself for waiting so long to pick these books up. Like, I'm high-key aggravated with myself for waiting so long, and naturally, of course, we're going to be keeping these books. I think that the political things between the clans, we see some things with Shadow Clan, River Clan, and Thunder Clan really come to a head at, like, the end of the second book, delving into the third book. We see some major reveals. I mean, when I say major reveals, as in, like, someone taking care of their son and their son not realizing that it's their mama, and their mama having to kill them. Because when I tell you I said, absolutely not. We are not poisoning our children, but we are poisoning our kids. Like, the revelation of people having kids. Let me tell you something. This is the messiest fucking book I've read all year. 5 stars. This book is incredibly messy. I see why kids love these books, because the drama is freaking, oh my gosh, the drama is insane. I have never, like, I will say that Into the Wild is very much so a setup book. This is not a book where you're getting a lot. I mean, there is some, like, political intrigue in this, and it does grab you. But I'm telling y'all, by the time you step into this book, shit gets real. I was not anticipating, so immediately I finished that one and I said, oh no, baby, there's no way that we're not gonna Rising Storm has to come next, because there's no way, there's no way, the way that ended, the way that book 3 ended, I have to finish book 4, because I need to know what happens. And I'm so bad, because I'm literally saying F it to everything else that I need to read, and I'm like, these are gonna get read. And it's good, because I've had these on my shelf, as you can see right here. That's kind of like my Aaron Hunter, but you know what I'm finna do? I'm finna make this space my Aaron Hunter space right here. Because if the Warriors continues to be this good, let me tell you something, I'm gonna need an Aaron Hunter shelf. So there's that. I was not, in that video I was like, oh, I'm trying to finish this one, and if I could pick up another one that might be nice. Girl, I'm on book 4. And by the time I do my final check-in before this vlog goes up, I'm probably going to be knee deep into book 5. I just feel it in my core that I'm literally going to be in book 5 by tomorrow. I don't see it, like, not being a thing. Oh gosh, this series is so good. It's so good. Okay, on to the next thing. When I was at the pool, I was reading a little bit of Blood at the Root. I am currently 145 pages in to Blood at the Root, which is chapter 11. I don't know if I'm going to finish this before the vlog is over with, which is fine. I am liking it. I do not see myself unhauling it, but I do want to at least get 50% into this book. And then I probably will wrap it up into the following week, which is good, because next week's theme is going to be focusing on 2024 and 2025 new releases, trying to play a little bit of catch up on some things that I've neglected. And so if I don't finish this, that's okay. It will roll right over into next week's vlog, which I don't have a problem with. But so far so good. This is interesting. I went back and I looked at some reviews of this, right? I'm not seeing some of the things that people are talking about with like misogynoir. I'm not really seeing that. I can't speak for the representation of Creole in the book because I do not speak Creole. And I think that that is a very valid criticism of it. But the other criticisms that I have seen, like it's like somebody typed in how Black people talked into Chat GPT. I don't think that that's fair. I think that we have grown accustomed to writing Black people, or writers having to write Black characters in a certain way for publishing that's palatable to white readers, aka writing for the white gaze. I don't think that this is something that we typically see on the market, and so for some readers I think it is jarring, and I find it fascinating to be like, it's so exaggerated, but I don't know, for me it doesn't feel that way. I don't know, like the people that I group around, my friends, like this is how we've communicated. Like this is how, you know, someone's like, oh yeah, all this like finna. I say finna all the time. Like when I say all the time, I literally mean like all the time. So for me, I don't know, like, and at the end of the day, Black people are not a monolith, but I don't necessarily agree with that particular criticism of the book. I do think that there could be some, you know, pop culturally type things that are not, that can be excessive. And that's okay. I did hear that kind of runs its course by the end of the book. But as far as like the dialogue, and someone said the adultification of the teens, like they're at a university. So this clearly is going to be an upper level type of situation. I don't think it's adultification. I don't know. Like and granted, I'm 145 pages in, but I don't necessarily see the criticisms of this book that others have seen of it or have of it. I don't know. Some people said that it's trying too hard, but it's like, I almost feel like in Ladarion's situation, like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? If he would have wrote the characters in a way that was palatable to white people, you would have had an issue. And now that he's being unapologetically Black with his characters, that's a problem too. It's kind of like you can't win. And I don't think like it's meant for Black kids to pick up and see themselves in a story. For people, I don't know if this is like, because I saw a couple reviews too that talked about like, oh, this definitely is not a book that doesn't have trauma. I don't know if it was marketed that way or if there was an online conversation. I'm not online like that. I probably was 10 years ago, but now I just don't have the capacity to chronically be online. I just don't. I can't partake in every argument that goes on, and quite frankly, or every conversation that goes on, and quite frankly, I don't. You will find me most likely to jump into conversations as it relates to librarianship, but outside of that, like I really don't. I don't know what's going on with every author. I don't know all of the drama. Like if I do find stuff out, it's usually like 2-3 days late. I usually don't have great context clues, so I don't know if there was a conversation or if this was marketed as like not having any type of trauma. But I can say that that's not true, because this definitely does have trauma. It starts with trauma. I don't know if the whole book is going to be about that, but we do have a main character that is feeling some type of way after you know, quote unquote, supposedly, because there's a question mark on this, his mother being killed, and then his family basically abandoning him as he is put into foster care and doesn't have really great experiences, and then getting reunited with his family, and it's kind of like, yo, but where have you been? Like, where have you been this entire time when I've been going through it? And I'm supposed to have respect for you and look at you like you're my family, when at the end of the day, like, you haven't been here. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm taking my time with it. It is a longer book. It is over 400 pages. Like I said, I at least want to make it to 50% of this by the time I close this vlog out. And then what I will do is I will at least roll this over into the next vlog. But honey, let's be for real, okay? Let's be for real and talk about what the priority is, okay? This is what we're prioritizing, okay? Because I have never these books are so damn good. What did Ray call Bravelands? Ray called Bravelands Animal Planet Mafia, and I must say that the same thing is definitely applicable to this, hands down. Absolutely. But I am going to read for a little while. I'm not going to stay up late tonight, y'all. I am really tired. What I will do is I will check in with y'all tomorrow, and this vlog will go up at our usual time of 4:30. Bye.
Left a body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder.
Hello friends, I have to make this very quick because my battery definitely is about to die. Loving this, the kind of what's the girl from Star Wars? Y'all know a girl's name? Leia, the space buns type of thing. It's good. It keeps it not too heavy. It keeps it away from my face, and I am enjoying it. I like it. Okay, so quick and final update. I did not finish Rising Storm, but I am over halfway through. So even as this vlog goes up, I probably will finish it, and then I'm going to go ahead and start book 5 and possibly just go ahead and finish the series. Because let me tell you, this was a good time. This was a very good time. I also did not get to pick up any more Blood at the Root. It just, let me tell you, okay, time was a funny thing for me yesterday. Like I said yesterday, I was really tired. I really didn't feel like doing much yesterday, so I didn't. But this, I'm going to roll over. You're going to see this pop up in the vlog that's going to go up next week. Now, just a heads up, I think the vlog for next week is not going to go up on Sunday. It's going to have to go up on Monday because I'm going to be out of town, and I'm not going to have the means to edit the way I want to edit. So that's how that's just going to go. Unfortunately, that's just how things are just going to have to be for next week, because life things happen the way that they happen. So we can gladly say that we read an additional 2 books off of my physical TBR. It will be 3 by this afternoon, which makes me feel really good. I'm not counting The Warriors, the first one, Into the Wild, because of the fact that I've already read that book. So I already have that cataloged as read. The other 2 now are cataloged as read. Book 2 and 3 are cataloged as read. Book 4 I'm currently reading. Blood at the Root I'm currently reading. So we are making good progress. This is going to be a slow and steady race. I think the next time that I do this project, or the next episode, which will be in July, I will provide more statistics on like the percentages that have been read to the percentage that is unread, so we can kind of see some progress. Actually, I may not do that. I may wait until the end of the year. I do think it'll be nice to see some progress. I think that will serve as a motivator. And these videos are not going to be the only time that I'm reading from my physical TBR. These are just hyper fixated on reading my physical TBR. So there's that. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, make sure you click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're looking to follow me on social media, support the channel, all the links will be down in the description box below. And I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.